bald guys talking about hockey. Two bald guys and they're 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 talking about hockey. And they're bald. And there's hockey. Hockey.
Well, where's my screen? There we are. It is on.
Woohoo!
Game on.
Wow.
We are a go. A week and a half, 2 weeks in, depending on how you kind of look at it. But yeah, baby.
Finally.
Yes.
The off season was so long.
Yeah. And you must be happy with how your team is doing so far.
Yes, very surprised. Like I can't. Well, I beat the Bruins twice. I can't believe that I beat the Bruins twice. So, and the Atlantic is doing so well, eh? It's
years of being shit on. Now we're doing the shitting.
You did. The Atlantic is doing so well, and then like the surprises, Islander, Carolina. At the bottom.
Why don't you? I'm gonna open things up a little bit. You keep talking. You're doing
Winnipeg,
great.
Minnesota, at the bottom of the league. Vancouver at the bottom of the league, and Seattle at the bottom of the league. Wow! And at the top, Vegas Golden Knights, St. Louis Blues, and New Jersey, which was expected, and Buffalo. So. Some teams are expected to be there. I didn't think that Nashville is going to be doing as well as they are. Only one loss, 4-1 record in 5 games. So it's quite crazy to start the league this year. Start of the season.
I feel vindicated in some ways because some of the teams that I actually said we're going to be better than people think, like say a certain team in Florida, I've been right on so far. Now, I mean, who knows? But like,
I don't think it's going to last, but let's hope it does.
And the Rangers, man, like the Rangers.
But what did I tell you about the Rangers? They're better than they look. They're better than expected.
You're right. No, that's something. That's something. So to our faithful viewers, we're going to talk about tonight the teams that are the surprises because we're into the second week and there's some big surprises. I could hear a huge sigh of relief coming out of LA and Carolina, and when does the panic button start, man, in some of these things? Because wow. Although I've been staring down that barrel and waited it out. Usually things do self-correct, but
yes.
I don't know.
Like Edmonton, 4-1-1. Who would expected that? Right?
Yeah. So let me call up the screen here and we will commence the talking. And right off, like I remember Arizona, or Utah. Sorry, I'm gonna do it again. Utah, they lost like their first couple games.
Yep.
I was thinking, wow, didn't Jean I picked like a couple of losers for the start of the year? Because I think New Jersey was not. Or who did I pick? I picked LA to win.
Yep.
And they were just tanking, and you picked Utah, and they were tanking.
And I picked Vancouver to win the Pacific. They're last in the Pacific. I think they're tied for last. Oh no, Washington is last.
Well, they are in last in the Pacific.
But they're last in the Pacific. I picked them to win the Pacific and make it to the semifinal at least. I can't remember if I picked them to win it. The West. So
like, is Jean the kind of guy that would panic? And I don't know. I think he might be in the panic column. Like there might be some sort of a panic.
Well, He thought that he had built a team that could go all the way. So
And it's still
last year he
nice.
thought he was going to make the playoffs. He was very disappointed he didn't. Now he believes that he built a team that should win it. So
But look at the
three,
bottom teams in these two divisions here out west. We both picked Winnipeg to be playoff team,
yep,
and they're at the bottom. And they're tied with Minnesota, who we also picked to be a playoff team, and they're at the bottom. And when we come up here, Boston, they're struggling, although they're at 500, because the Atlantic is the powerhouse now that it is.
exactly. The depth in that division is just crazy. And I'm being sarcastic. In case any of you haven't noticed, I'm being sarcastic because the Atlantic has been like a dumpster fire for the last few years.
But here
And
we are. Here we
and
are, baby.
there it
Get
is.
used to this
So,
because I think next year it's going to be even better. So get
oh
ready.
yes, next year it's going to be much better. Detroit's going to be better. Toronto's going to be better. Canadians are going to be better. The Lightnings are going to be better. Like the Buffalo Sabres reign atop the division is coming to an end soon.
Well, I think both of our teams are going to be better next year as
Yep.
well. But also when you look at the Metro, the Islanders and the Hurricanes with one win each, and I
Wow.
believe they were both like recent wins.
Well, the Hurricanes won last night.
Yeah, for their
Their
first win of
first
the
win of the
season.
season.
Like,
They were
wow,
0-4 to start the season.
that's that's no, nobody saw that coming.
No.
And their schedule, I'm going to click on their schedule here because you'll see it hasn't been a very hard one. And they have losses to Tampa Bay twice.
Ooh, that hurts.
Now, New Jersey, okay, but Pittsburgh, like
Pittsburgh
that's,
we picked Pittsburgh to be at the bottom, like to be a lottery team, not really a lottery team, a bottom five team.
I think they were the second worst team or the worst team in the Metro.
Yeah, just ahead of Washington.
But
So
I mean, that's some low hanging fruit. You've now again, Tampa Bay's a better team, but Carolina should not be going 0-2 against them.
no,
So, and I want to click on the Islanders here because wow, their schedule. Okay, Arizona, Dallas, okay. Their win
the
against Colorado, but
loss
St.
against
Louis
St.
isn't
Louis,
good, and Montreal shouldn't be beating them.
loss in OT against Montreal. Yeah, the Islanders is one of the top teams in the league. They should not be losing, be 1-3-1.
Well,
In
was it
any
Mark that picked
game
them to win
segment.
everything? Mark Stefanelli, I think, picked them to win the Metro.
Yeah. So
Wow.
it's lots of surprises, eh?
Yeah.
Lots of
Well,
surprises.
and just odd,
The
odd.
first week and a half of the season.
Well, it's still early, but like up at the top. So let's do the opposite here. Who's surprising us positively? I think
Positively,
I think we have to start off with the Rangers.
yep.
3-0 and
Rangers,
2.
Rangers, Columbus, to me, 3-1-1, 3-0-2, in 5 games. Very, very, it like good results. Pittsburgh, 3-3-1. Those three teams, who saw that happening?
Well, nobody.
Yeah.
But like even if you look in our division, like okay, just our division on the whole, having the best record of all the other divisions.
Yeah.
Detroit
That
3
just
and 2,
right
Tampa Bay
there.
3 and 2.
There's
Jean's team
only
doesn't lose in regulation. They seem to get to overtime and lose, but
but look at Montreal is the only team that is not 500 in the division.
See, they're learning the wonderful nature that is Tristan Jarry. I I check every game Montreal plays to see if Jarry played, and he's got decent numbers, but he just plays well enough to lose.
Wow.
And
Well enough to lose. That is a curse.
well, I'll show you the stats. It's crazy. He's 2-2-1, a 90 for 70, 274 goals against, and a 90.2 save percentage. Those are decent numbers.
Yeah, not bad, but
Better than my goalies.
mm-hmm.
And he's got a decent team. Like he shouldn't be losing this much, but he is. Again, he's not the worst team in our division. Toronto just keeps winning.
I think Toronto is going to end up being like at the bottom of the division. I think it was just a really good start, and I think the Toronto GM is expecting to be at the bottom.
Well, I hope he tries a little harder to lose when I start playing him. So yeah, he opened the season with a win in Montreal, which was way to go.
So what about
Hey, the West? Number one to me is Vegas. 5-0-1.
You know what? I'm not so like I'm surprised they're at the top of the division, but they have a good enough team to be there. So I'm not like I'm surprised they're at the top of the division, but I'm not surprised. Like I think that they have a good enough team to be there. I just thought that Vancouver was going to be there ahead of them. So and the Blues, who like I thought the Blues had the worst team in the DCHL, and they're 4-1-1.
And the loss just happened to Carolina.
Yeah.
Like they just lost. So, wow. What do we know? Like that's I guess that's the one thing that we should learn from this is we know shit, but we don't want our faithful listeners to know this. So, disregard.
We don't know anything.
We don't know nothing.
We talk a big game. We just don't know how to play a big one.
Yeah, but wow, like Edmonton even at 4-1 is crazy.
Yes. The Edmonton and St. Louis have the same record, and I expected them to be at the bottom 5 in the league. Both of those teams. So it's shocking. So
But yet very interesting.
disappointed in the Jets and the Wild.
Yeah. Well, I don't understand how they are out of the playoffs. Like even this early, they're better teams than this, and they're losing to the scrubs.
Mm-hmm.
So
can we go to the Jets and a Wild schedule?
Sure. There's the Jets. A loss to Edmonton, a loss to Chicago. They beat lowly Minnesota, and a loss to Pittsburgh.
San Jose, and a loss to Pittsburgh.
Now a lot of those, see, 2 of those are overtime, right?
Yeah, but you should not be going. They should not be going to overtime against Pittsburgh.
No.
Just like I don't know. To me, this
just reminds me of in the NHL last year when San Jose whooped on Edmonton early in the season last year, because San Jose was like horribly bad, and Edmonton was Edmonton. So you can't say it doesn't happen in the NHL, but it seems like a lot of this year in the DCHL. Wow. And you want to look at Minnesota?
Yep.
Well, we know they have the one against Winnipeg. Columbus, they lost to Seattle. Oh.
That was before Seattle traded its team away.
Oh, and Seattle did beat Calgary when they traded their team away.
Yeah.
But yeah, they lost to St. Louis. Although they did spank Columbus pretty good. I noticed that. Was that
Yeah.
yesterday? I think that was yesterday.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, wow.
And
I'm in LA because LA had an ass kicking yesterday. They whooped on somebody.
let's go.
LA's first win yesterday. Let's look at that. 7-1 against Anaheim.
Ooh, they won 2 in a row.
Yeah,
LA's a 2-game winning streak. They lost 4 in a row to start the season.
they lost to my Nazem Kadri-less Ottawa Senators, LA.
Um,
My first game.
you know what? Look at LA started the season against Buffalo, against the Bruins, against the Senators, and against the Leafs, and they went 0-4. They walked away with 2 points in overtime loss in 4 games. Teach those Western teams to come to the Atlantic. Expect to come in with like all of its points.
And they were just whooped in Buffalo. Now it was an overtime, but I started my backup in that game, John. I Vladar, because I figured it was basically going to be a loss for my team. So I might as well get a backup goalie start in,
Yep.
and my team won 5-3.
So
So
LA had a bad start.
they had a bad start.
Welcome to the DCHL. Re-welcome to DCHL, Kalen.
Holy shit! Though, look at that road trip to start.
Yeah, because they're doing renovations at the what's it called? The arena in LA. Not
It
sure
used to
what
be
their
the
home is
Forum,
called.
but I don't know what it is now.
I'm sure they changed the name a few times.
Yeah.
So
Okay. And anywhere else you want to go with the start of the year?
uh
I was going to look at points, league leaders, to see who's scoring. Well, and you'll see that this is where the scrub teams who are doing well have these no name guys that are
so
Lars Eller.
yeah. Okay, Lars
Real
Eller
good
has
stud.
been a quality NHL player for many, many years.
Okay,
But he is not a 2 point a game player.
no, no,
In
no, he
any
is not.
right?
Well, and I mean, Adam Henrique is my leading scorer, and I think those points were scored in 2 different games. Like he's had like big games. He hasn't. Just too early.
Yeah.
And if we look at goalies, I'm pretty sure Shesterkin is going to be the top goalie.
No, Montembeault.
Goals against average, it's got to be. No, Bobrovsky and Shesterkin,
Yeah.
both with 2 shutouts. Wow. Now, you didn't think Nashville was going to be as good at the start here.
No. I just well, they have a top end team, right? They have they just don't have the depth, I thought, anywhere, like on defense and in goal or up front, but they have high quality players. We talked about their first line
Yeah.
as
Well, and if
being probably
Bobrovsky
the
plays
best
at all
in
year.
in the league. So
Okay. And we are admittedly doing a shorter show tonight, mostly because I'm really tired.
yeah,
The one we did want to talk about one more thing tonight,
yes,
and I'll call it up. The tweet by Rachel Doherty, which talks about the draft. And I know the Seattle GM reposted this. Let kids decide where they want to play within cap constraints. Teams can only offer ELCs. That would entirely eliminate tanking and force teams to offer players opportunity and make their clubs attractive destinations. And okay, and if I believe Rachel Doherty is now she used to work for New Jersey, the Devils.
She's
She used to work for Vancouver,
yeah,
uh, and she used to. I think she's from the Toronto area. I'm
I
not
think so. She's
positive
from
about that.
Ontario. I follow her on Twitter,
Yeah.
uh, and I didn't see that post from her.
Well, when I did Twitter, I followed her, but I left Twitter. So
So, and you know what? I like to hear ideas outside the box. I like to hear people's new ideas and what they're looking at and different things. But as an NHL hockey fan, I just think that like all you're gonna do if you take away the draft is you're gonna make the Rangers, the Kings, like the Leafs, not even the Canadians, like all the top destinations, and I'm including the two Floridas and the Stars as the places where all these kids are going to want to go play. And there's going to be a few things. One is the original six franchises are always a top draw for players who want to play in the NHL. But then also there's the teams that have no state tax, like the Stars, like Vegas, uh, then the two Florida teams. And I'm sure I'm missing one more. I think Nashville might not have a state tax either. I'll give you an example of two recent contracts. Jeremy Swayman just signed an 8-year, $8.25 million contract with the Boston Bruins. I think it's a good contract. I think it's to his value, to his potential. He had 2 years left before he hit free agency, UFA. And so that's a decent contract. Jake Ottinger signed the exact same contract with the Dallas Stars. Dallas, and he doesn't need to take state tax. Ottinger was 1 year away from UFA. He's made it deep in the playoffs. He's played a lot more games to Swayman. So if he would have been in Boston, he should have asked for 9.25 or 9.5 million instead of 8.25. But because he doesn't have to pay it, he doesn't have to pay state tax on his 8.25 million, he can sign a lower contract. So that's a huge benefit to NHL franchises. Like Tampa Bay's been using that for years. At Vegas is
and
using that.
Florida and
Florida
Florida.
started to use that. So they're like, as long as you run your team properly, players are going to players are going to want to go to your state because they make more money in their pocket. And okay, I'm sorry, but it's a lot nicer to be playing in Vegas and in Dallas than it is to play in Edmonton and in Winnipeg or in Ottawa. It's just a fact of life.
Well, we see that with the guys that left Calgary.
Yes. And Calgary is I've never been to Calgary, but I hear Calgary is one of the most beautiful cities in North America to live in, and it's one of the most affordable from what I've heard. For and like we both have a friend that lives in Calgary, and I keep they're getting snow tomorrow, by the way, in Calgary.
Oh, poor Quack.
So they have really weird weather, but it's I only hear good things about the city of Calgary. But players are not saying, "Hey, sign me up. I'm going to Calgary. I'm a UFA. I'm going to take less money to leave my team to go to Calgary." But they will for the other for franchises like I've mentioned. And so the draft is one way for teams to be able to acquire players on the cheap. And on top of that, draft picks are assets that you can trade. You take away draft picks, you no longer have that asset to trade. So
Well,
I'm
let me
completely against
let
that.
let me just, because I agree with everything you just said, but in one picture, I'm going to demonstrate why I absolutely hate the idea. And this is the picture. This is
Okay.
John Tavares when he was a child, being a Leafs fan. And if he had the ultimate choice to pick any team, he would pick Toronto. He would have picked Toronto.
Yeah.
The strike year, he actually was trying to negotiate with the Leafs to sign, since there were no contracts at the time, and the collective bargaining agreement was no more.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to argue. They wanted to go to court and argue that they could sign that he could sign with the Leafs as a free agent. Now the
Yeah.
league probably wouldn't have let it happen, but he wanted to sign. He wanted to go to the Leafs, and he was always going to Toronto at some point in his career. And he was first overall. Like, think about it. Like, where's Connor McDavid? Where would he have wanted to go play?
Toronto.
He grew up in Newmarket, which is
He
40 minutes north of Toronto.
like he's I'm sure he's happy in Edmonton right now, but he would never have went to Edmonton. He would have played in Toronto.
Exactly. Like, there's there is no way teams that are the small market teams can compete under this
Nope.
system. And it doesn't surprise me that Rachel Dory would be in favor of this. I'm 99% sure she was a Leafs fan growing up. She has worked for what I consider at least bigger market franchises in New Jersey and Vancouver. Like, I certainly wouldn't call them the big market teams like the Rangers or Toronto or even Montreal. But those are teams that are in the larger half of the league.
Yeah. So and and she says you have the salary cap. Well, you all you need to do is you're signing a player at, is it 925 or 950 right now? So just imagine you're like you have a contract, and oh, look at that. Toronto was in cap hell. Who was it that couldn't sign anybody? I think it was Toronto. Like this year, they had guys that they were just like against the cap and all that. Oh well, I need a player under $1 million. I'm gonna get Macklin Celebrini, and he's just gonna come to my team. I think Celebrini ended up where he would have wanted to play because his parents are
Yeah.
there and he grew up there. That's an exception. But like Adam Fantilli would have wanted to play, wouldn't have wanted to go to Columbus. Why would he
No,
want to go
not a
to Columbus?
chance.
What's in Columbus if you're a hockey player? So just that's my opinion. It would be so wrong if the NHL did that
Okay. Who went third overall in the NHL draft?
this
Beckett
year.
Seneke. Beckett Seneke.
Yep.
Where did he grow up? Toronto.
Toronto.
Where does he play in the OHL? Oshawa. Where do you think Beckett Seneke would have signed with in the, like, if he had that option?
Toronto. So,
It's sure.
so the Toronto Maple Leafs would have ended up with the top three pick in this year if there was no draft. And we're just stopping there because
Sam
you know,
Dickinson. Where do you think Sam Dickinson would have signed?
Toronto.
And maybe there's other reasons why they might choose somewhere else, but Toronto's, if everybody can only offer an ELC, because that's the thing, is everybody can only offer the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to go to the place that they want to go to, where they're comfortable, closer to home,
Yeah.
closer to mom and dad, like the team they've grown up watching, like their dream when they're playing in the backyard is playing for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yep.
Like it's just it's a nice idea that these kids get to choose where they're going to go, but it's really bad for the league on the whole. It's really bad for the league unless you want to create a system like they have in European soccer, where you have haves and have-nots, and they
Where
don't compete on the same page. They don't compete together.
where from the start of the season in the Premier League that your team has zero chance of making it, of winning. All
Yeah.
you're trying to do is not get relegated. If you play in a free Premier League and you're not one of the top 6 teams in the Premier League. Every year. And I've had many arguments with that. Why would I want to be a fan of a team in the league where I know my team has zero chance of winning? I might zero chance, because nobody wants to play there. And as soon as my player is good enough, I sell him off so that I can buy other small cheap players.
Which is exactly what happens in Europe, right? Like
Yep.
these millionaires make more money selling the players off so that they can.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So
I mean, you cannot run a 32 NHL team league without the draft.
no,
You can't do it.
completely disagree.
So anyway, as they say on YouTube, as other YouTube stars say, please leave your comments in below and let us know what you think. See, we keep forgetting to actually be professional YouTubers. Now, we have to pay money. You and
Yes.
I have to put up $100 because
I
we
know.
now have 30 subscribers.
Are we just at 30 or is it like higher than 30 now?
I can check right now.
So I
We have
reached out
31.
to
We have
31.
31. We're like another 1,000, or sorry, 969, and we'll start making money.
Another 969 and we'll make money.
Yeah.
Wow, eh? Imagine that.
And we'll be able to quit our jobs and do this and only this. And
Yes.
so we've been doing this a year and we got 31.
Well, okay.
So at this rate, it'll be about 30 more years.
But wait a minute. I think we only started on YouTube in the last
in February or March or something
no,
like
no,
that.
no, 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 no. It wasn't. We only have 15 episodes on YouTube.
Okay, no, that's true. Because no, it was February where Facebook pulled their bullshit stunt. And it took me 2 months to figure it out. So it might have been like May or June when we finally.
Okay, we'll go with May.
There you go. So might only take us 25 years to build up.
We've got the momentum right now. It's like
we're on a winning streak.
Exactly.
There you go.
So, yes, as soon as you figure out how to make that payment, you let me know.
I will. I was going to message Randy and I forgot. To be quite honest.
Messaged him, and here's what he told me: to go on the site, pretty much.
On what site?
I just messaged him at Saint Bladrick's website. Okay. That's where he goes.
Okay. So I'll do that tomorrow or the day after.
Say if you can if you can find the link, send it to me.
Okay. I will. I think he posted. He posted a picture of it, so I assume maybe it is a link.
No, there's no link because I clicked on it. It's
Oh,
on.
okay. Oh,
So
I'll take a look at it tomorrow.
I clicked on it to try to pay my debts. So yes, yeah, you did say that if we get 30 followers, we will be making a donation.
Hey, it's almost worth it.
Hey, it's
Helping the children.
we'll make
Helping
so
the
many
children.
more hundreds of dollars once we hit 1,000 subscribers, eh?
Yeah, yeah, that's it. My wife makes fun of me about this all the time, so it's okay. That's okay. She actually wanted to get me for my birthday a T-shirt with the thing Zach did, the two bald guys emblem. So I'll have to see if I can get that. We can make T-shirts.
Yes. Look at
Maybe we
that.
can sell them like other
Okay.
YouTube channels do.
I know. Well, if we get t-shirts, I would definitely wear it.
Okay, well, let me. I'll get Marlon to give me your wife's email address. I'm assuming he might have it,
I
and
don't
I'll
know.
tell her. I'll give her a link so she can give you a birthday present or something if we ever
Yeah.
do it.
She's probably gonna say, somebody's trying to get me, like it's a scam.
Get this T-shirt and your penis enlarged.
No way. It's gonna be like, oh my
Uh,
God.
I'm in Algeria and I'm trapped and I've been arrested for drunk driving. Can you send me money and buy this T-shirt? Okay, I kind of want to wrap it early tonight. I know
Yeah.
this probably wasn't our number one material, but I am tired.
Yeah.
I did a 10K run today.
Did you?
I did.
Are we off now?
No,
Hmm.
go on. I can
I
be
thought
off
we,
though. Do you want me to turn it off?
no,
Just say
no.
goodbye to everybody.
Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.